أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ربنا زدنا علما آمين يا رب العالمين. Today inshallah we are going to continue page number 45 of Tabir al-Qur'ani. Let's continue with the discussion of Ajibun and Ojabun. Dr. Father Samrai has further given us the explanation about these words that are on the scale of Ailun and Fa'alun. Let's start now. وفي سورة هود كان الأجب أكبر لأنه من خلاف المعتاد أن تلد امرأة عجوز وحكيم. انظر سورة الزاريات ayah 29. Dr. Father Samarai explains that in Surah Hud, the amazement was greater as compared to Surah Kaf, where it was said that Haza Shayun Ajib. So, because it just went against what is you can say, like a normal custom or possibility for an old or a barren woman to give birth, it's not possible. So also it's written here unzur surah zariyat ayat number 29. And also because it is not possible for an old woman, a Juzan, a human, like she's an old woman, but also she's a barren woman. So there, like the surprise was a bit greater than what's mentioned in Surah Kaf, Haza Kaf, in Surah Kaf, Haza Shayun Ajib. So this is what Dr. Father Sama is telling us here. Abaluha Shaykhun. Abaluha Shaykhun. Also that while her husband was an old man. So this is Rajuz and Hakim. And uh, after that, it's mentioned about her husband وبالها شيخ is كل ذلك يدعو إلى الغرابة والعجب. Of course, like all of that, like just naturally tells us or just invites surprise and wonder, like since an old woman does not give birth, like if also if she is barren, and then she's even further you can say she's away from like giving birth to a child. So that's being mentioned here. is كل ذلك يدعو إلى الغرابة والعجب والعجوز لا تلد فإذا كانت حكيما كانت عن الولادة أبدا إذ يستحيل للكين أن تلد فإذا اجتمع إلى كل ذلك أن بعلها شيخ كان عبدا وعبدا ولذا أكد العجب بإن والله فقال إن هذا لشيء عجيب. سورة هود بخلاف آية قاف فإنه لم يؤكد العجب. Here, Dr. Father Sama is saying that, like, all this is just going to give so much wonder and surprise, like, since an old woman does not or like cannot give birth, and also that she's barren, then she's even like away from a childbirth. Like, indeed, it's quite it's impossible for a old and a barren woman to give birth. When you also like add to this, like here, her husband, Babaluha Sheikhun, like was elderly, like he was an old man, the situation you can say becomes even more surprising. So that is why Allah Subhanahu wa Taala here emphasize the surprise and the amazement with both inna indeed and the lam of emphasis, that is um, here you can see this lam al muzalaka inna hazala shay'un ajib. Indeed, this is something amazing, like this is for emphasis. So unlike this in the verse of Surah Qaf, Haza Shayun Ajib, when there is no emphasis used, because that was quite. less, you can say, the astonishment or the surprise. So these are the comparison for the two ayat. Haza shayun ajib and haza inna haza la shayun ajibun. So these are the two ayat. Then Dr. Father Samrai further explains about Surah Sud, Swad, where we see inna haza la shayun ujab. So let's see here. وأما في سورة صاد فقد كان العجب عند المشركين أكبر وأكبر is كيف يمكن أن يؤمنوا بوحدانية الإله والنفي الشرك وهم قوم أريكون فيه. As for Surah Sad, the the amazement among the disbelievers was even greater. Akbara wa akbar. Because how could they possibly, we can say, believe in the oneness of God, or and also one of his shirk, and also the rejection of this polytheism, you can say the shirk, while wahum, this is how you see here, wahum common arikuna fi, wahum common arikuna fi, while they were a nation like, so like they were deeply rooted in shirk. This is what Dr. Father Samra is explaining here. Like وأما في سورة الصوت فقد كان الأعجب عند المشركين أكبر وأكبر. Is كيف يمكن, how is it possible, like أن يؤمنوا بوحدانية الإلهي, like in the oneness of God, like نفي الشرك وهم قوم, while they are the nation وهم قوم أريكون فيه, like they are so uh, you can say, like they are drowned in, like, and they are deeply rooted in shirk. Let's continue now. بل إن الإسلام جاء أول ما جاء ليردعهم عن الشرك ويردهم إلى التوحيد وحسبك أن كلمة الإسلام الأولى هي لا إله إلا هو. So let's see here, here, but in Islam, like Islam, like just came uh, to, you can say, first came to stop them from the shirk, and like bring them back to ila tawheed, to bring them back to tawheed also, and wahasbuk an kalimat al Islam al ula here, and also it is to, like, to say the first word of the Islam is La ilaha illallah. So there is no God but Allah. La ilaha illallah. So he then continues saying that وَقَدْ اسْتَسْهَلُوا أَنْ يَحْمِلُوا السَّيْفَ وَيُعْلِنُوا الْحَرْبَ طويلة على أن يقروا بهذه الكلمة فالقتل فالقتل أيسر عندهم من النطق بكلمة التوحيد. He says that they like they found it easier to take the sword, to they like it's easier for them to take the sword and يحمل السيف, to take the sword ويعلن الحرب الطويلة, and also going for a long war than just to say this single phrase, or like La ilaha illallah. Like for them, like being killed, or it's easier than saying this من النطق بكلمة التوحيد, like فالقتل أيسر عندهم من النطق بكلمة التوحيد, like for them, like being killed was easier than saying La ilaha illallah. So that was the level of the shirk of the mushrikeen. He then continues telling us that وَلِذَا كان العجب عندهم أكبر وأكبر فجاء بإن واللام وعدل من أجيب إلى أجاب وذلك أن فعالا أبلغ من فعيل إن العرب وطوال أبلغ من طويل فإذا قلت هو رجل طويل. This is the example he gave us. فهو الطول المعتاد فإذا زاد عن المعتاد قلت هو طوال والنحو كريم وكرام وشجي وشجاع. Here he is giving us the comparison of these اسم مبالغة of فa'il and فعال. We know that fa'il is like you can say it's lighter than fa'al. So that's this is what he's explaining here, that their amazement was even greater. Akbara, Akbara. Like so the Quran again used like here inna haza la shay'un ajib. Then we have here inna haza la shay'un ujab. So again using the inna and the lam, but this time we see here instead of ajib we have seen ujab, because in Arabic the pattern like this wasn't this is scale for all has like greater intensity, or you can say mubaligha inside it than like fa'il, as he has given the example as Tual is stronger than Tawil and Kiram is more like intense than Kareem, and also like Washaji or Shuja. Shuja is more intense than Shaji. So basically, he's telling us about the scales, Fa'il and Fa'al, that Fa'il is less intense than the scale Fa'al. So this is about the usage of Ajib and Ujab. Then he says, هذا إضافة إلى أنه زاد على ما في سورة قاف ما يقتضي زيادة العجب فإنه قال في قاف بل أجبوا أن جاءهم منذر منهم فقال الكافرون هذا لشيء عجيب وقال في صاد وأجب أن جاءهم منذر منهم وقال الكافرون هذا ساحر كذاب أجل الآلهة إلها واحدا إن هذا لشيء عجاب فزاد. Here we see here فزاد على مدي المنذر منهم ما ذكرناه من جعل الآلهة إلها واحدا فاقتضى إذا زيادة العجب. فانظر كيف فانظر كيف عدل من صيغة إلى صيغة بحسب ما يقتضي المقام وانظر كيف يراعي دقة التعبير في كل موضع وكيف يلحظ كل كلمة ويدعوها في then it continues to the next في المكان المناسب. So Dr. Father Sama is saying that like also هذا إضافة إلى أنه زاد على ما في سورة قاف. Like in Surah Kaf, we see here that ما يقتضي إذا زيادة العجب فإنه قال في قاف, and then he explains these surahs like in Surah Swad, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala like added details that increase the like you can say the level of the amazement or the sense of the amazement for in like Surah Kaf when he said that but they wondered that there has come to them a warner from among themselves. So the disbelievers say, like here, Haza, Haza Shayun Ajib, and then they say, Inna Haza La Shayun Ujab. So the disbelievers say, this is the strange thing. So, and also saying, Haza La Shayun Ajib. We saw in Surah Swad, Inna Haza La Shayun Ujab, when like this is like so amazing thing, like wondrous thing. So then he is like added the claim that he made the gods into one, which like you can say has just mm, like you can say increased their amazement, or you can say their surprise, like intensified their amazement, you can say that. So because this is a level of ujab, because it's on the scale of all, so it is more like you can say in intensified form of the surprise. So now you can notice here, فَانْظُرْ كَيْفَ أَدَلَ مِنْ صِيغَةٍ إِلَى صِيغَةٍ. Like, so now you can notice how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just shifted from one form, that's ajib, to another form, ujab, like according to be here, as he says that, be hasbi ma yaqtadi al maqam, like according to like each context that that's required, like where the scale fa'il is required, he has like we see a jivan, and when there is like a stronger word or feeling is required, we see ujab. So this is just the siyak, and that is telling us about these skills, that how properly or how precisely the Quran has used every expression, like placing each word in its perfect place. So in this, like in this whole passage, Dr. Father Samrai just highlighting the like linguistic precision of the Quran, like describing the amazement, uh, you can say this ajab, this ajab in three different surahs in three different levels. In Surah Hud, first we saw in Surah Hud, that's the second level, and we see inna hazala shay'un ajib. The amazement is about you can say like miraculous birth, when we were talking about an old barren woman giving birth, and also while her husband being old, because it just uh, like it defies the natural uh, uh, norms, like the Quran has used inna with the lam uh, of emphasis to show us the wonder, like inna haza la shay'un ajib. Also, we saw in Surah Kaf haza shay'un ajib, like the amazement is like less intense, because it's just simply about a man from among them being sent as a prophet, and that's why no inna and lam is used, haza shay'un ajib. But in the last level in Surah Swad, the amazement we can see is at its the highest, like it's on its peak, because it just involves the message of Tawheed, and which is disbelievers completely resisted. And so the Quran just uses stronger emphasis, adding inna and the lam, and also ujab. That's why we saw here inna haza la shayun ujab. Like first the double emphasis inna and the usage of lam, then we saw another scale, the higher scale than ajib, and that like instead of using the scale fa'il, fa'al has been used here. So the stronger form ujab instead of ajib has been used, and this pattern, like just you can say, just shift. Uh, um, like this is just reflecting what the degree of amazement in that situation would be. So Dr. Father Samai is uh, just showed us like how even one letter change in these all Quranic wordings just it's just matching the situation. What's the what are the emotions at that time? What is the intensity? Like it's just proving that this Quran, this is just uh, perfect. You can say the divine perfection of expression. So this is the discussion about Ajib and Ujab. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just is just painting a scene of like growing, you can say, amazement from like natural miracle, like birth, to you can say this here, the message of the prophet, like how this ayah explains about this thing about the prophet, and also this great, you can say, the challenge of the pure Vedaniyat. So each expression is just perfectly balanced with the context, with the siyaq, like showing that no word in the Quran can be replaced by another. Barakallahu li wa lakum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.